Hello, what is happening? Welcome to my first Premier League predictions of 2021. I hope you all have a good and a safe year. Hopefully football continues to entertain us as they have so far this season. And this week's fixtures are very entertaining as well. Starting off at Goodison Park, it's Everton versus West Ham. A very, very good game. I've gone for both teams to score. Everton have won the last four. So I'm expecting them to continue their run and a possible title kind of charge. If they win today, right, they've got a game in hand against Liverpool. If they win today, they are a point behind Liverpool with a game in hand because Liverpool will play later on in the week. I don't know what's going on this season. I don't think anybody does. Imagine Everton could win the league. They did dip for a little while, Everton, and then they've come back strong recently. They've been in very, very good form. But West Ham have been there and thereabouts. I know they're sitting 10th, but they've actually been very good still. I think West Ham have been a little bit unlucky. They haven't won any of the last four, though. They've had a few draws and a loss in there. But I think they will get beat, unfortunately, at Everton. The other game tonight is Manchester United versus Aston Villa, and what a game this is. I think Villa are probably the best team in the league away from home. They've only conceded maybe 2 or 3 goals. I don't know the exact number. But Man United at home aren't the best compared to what they are like away. I think this is set up for such a great game because Man United could go joint top. Like, you'd have never thought about this, like, halfway through, the first part of the season. United can go top of the league. Joint top, of course, on goal difference. But that is incredible. What a turnaround Ollie has done since like that Spurs 6-1 defeat. I think United have been one of the best teams in the league since that has happened. They've been very good. I know they've had a few, like the Arsenal loss, etc. But they've been very, very good. Obviously, as I said, they get knocked out of Europe too. But in the league, United could actually win the league. It's actually crazy. But the thing is, right? If Villa win, they have 2 games in hand on Liverpool already, and they'll go to 32 points, and they'd beat Manchester United as well. There'll be a point behind United with a game in hand. Like, there's so much that can happen. I've got hopes for Villa. I've gone for them on the alternative. So if they draw or win, and then the bet does come in, I've gone for a 1-1 draw too. I think Villa away from home are just too good. This season there's just seemed to be, and I think today kind of favours them. The pressure is on Man United, not on Aston Villa, and that's what's going to be the difference. The early kickoff on Saturday is Spurs versus Leeds, and I've gone for a lot of goals in this game. I just think the way that Leeds play, Tottenham can kind of take advantage of it, but I think with the way that Spurs play, Leeds can take advantage of that as well. So I've gone for an over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. The odds aren't like incredible, but I think this could be, it could be a big one. Spurs do need to show a big performance. They've not been great. I think when was the last time? 5 games ago, that was the last win. They've drawn 2 and they lost 2 in the last 4. So I'm expecting, turnaround. Usually beginning of the year, they could, start to pick up the form again because they have kind of dipped off. They are lying in 7th. Leeds have won the last 2 though. Some very important wins for Leeds, especially the one against Burnley. But I think this is going to be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see how Leeds do set up. Are they going to play like what they did against Manchester United? And if they do, I think they could honestly get battered again. But I think Spurs defensively are still kind of showing those issues and weaknesses to where Leeds can get in behind. Now for not the most exciting game of the weekend, we have Palace against Sheffield United. I've gone for a 1-0 Palace, and I've also gone for a bet prediction for Palace to win by 1 goal. Sheffield United, I keep trying to give them faith, but they're letting me down every time. They're barely getting anything from games. They're being unfortunate. It's just not their season this season. Palace have had a few rough results, especially against Villa. When you go 1-0 down against Villa and then you end up getting... they go down to 10 men and you end up getting beat 3-0. But I think Roy will be expecting a response, and I think he will get a response. It's a team which Crystal Palace should be beating. So I do have hope for them to win. I think Willie Zaha will grab the goal and Palace will get back onto winning ways. Another game which is a bit of a meh kind of game is Brighton versus Wolves. Wolves away from home have been great, but Brighton at home are just as bad. They haven't won it all this season at home, Brighton. So this is why I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone for both teams to score on this one as well. I think it could be quite an open game. I think both teams do play quite open, but I know Wolves are a little bit tight. But I think if Wolves can try and grab a goal, or Brighton, either way, I think either team, whoever scores first, are just going to be defending, and either team will get the goal. I was thinking about going for a draw on this one, but I think both teams to score seems to be a bit of a safer bet. I just don't see either team winning this game. Wolves are a little bit inconsistent away from home, especially. And Brighton, can they win at home this season? Who knows? They've only won twice this year. They've been a little bit disappointing, but this could be the start of the turnaround. Now this is more of an intriguing game. We have West Brom versus Arsenal, and both teams are kind of like West Brom obviously got the point against Liverpool. Arsenal have won the last 2 games, but I've got faith back in Arsenal. I said I won't start picking them until I start to have faith in them. And now I'm starting to have faith in them. I've gone again like the Crystal Palace game. Arsenal to win by 1 goal. I think this is going to be a very, very tight game because Arsenal defensively is still not bad. And I think West Brom under Big Sam, they're going to be a lot better defensively. That's their issues. I mean, they conceded 35 goals, more than any other team in the league. So it's going to be a very, very, very tight one. I think it's going to be a late Arsenal winner, like an Aubameyang winner in like the 86th minute or something. If that happens, I might be a genius. But I think it's going to be one of those games. Arsenal are going to grind out a result. It could possibly be a 0-0. I think it's going to be a very, very tight one. Now, another amazing game is Burnley versus Fulham. Both teams have kind of picked up form and they've actually been decent. Fulham have drew 4 of the last 4, they've drawn 4 of the last 4. And Burnley have actually had 3 wins, a draw and a loss in the last 5. But I think either team will cancel each other out. I think Fulham have been pretty good. And they've had quite a few 0-0s, with Southampton, which they drew during the last week. But I think Fulham are good for the money at the moment. That's why I've gone for them on the alternative. But Burnley still, I think, have improved a little bit. They've also been taken over as well. So congratulations to Burnley. Hopefully they can stay up and they can actually, build a team and actually pump some money into the club. So it'll be interesting. I think, maybe thinking about that now, possibly Burnley might win for the new owners or they might even lose. But you never know with Burnley. That's why I've gone for a 1-1 draw for both teams. Next game is Newcastle versus Leicester. I think Newcastle gave everything they can against Liverpool. Bodies on the line. Darlow was magnificent. Liverpool threw everything at them. But I think they would have won themselves out in that game, and I think Leicester are going to take advantage of this. The reason why I feel like Leicester will take advantage of it, I think away from home, in a kind of game like this, they're inconsistent, but I think they're going to put through a good performance. They was kind of okay against Manchester United in the last game, but they have drew on the last 2. I think Newcastle sometimes, if they can play like they did against Liverpool, but they're inconsistent, so they're not going to do exactly what they did. And everybody was thinking, after the Liverpool game, they got a chance against Leicester, but then they're just going to let themselves down, and that's what I can see happening. Leicester need to, carry on winning, and I mean, if they do grab a win, then they'll be they're a point behind Liverpool, and then they need to, keep on the good form which they've been recently. And so that's why I've gone for Leicester. I've also gone for Leicester to win, 2-0. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't give Newcastle much credit, but I just think they've won themselves out too much from the Liverpool game, unless they'll be able to break them down. Now, for probably the biggest game of the weekend, is Chelsea versus City. This is a tough one. I'm not too sure on this one. Chelsea haven't been in form at all. City have kind of been, plodding away, but City never seem to progress, even though they've not been that bad this year. Obviously, they're not been scoring the goals compared to the other teams. I mean, they scored 16 less goals than what Liverpool have already. I mean, that's a big difference. But when you haven't really got strikers, I mean, that's what's going to happen to you. I think both teams are going to go into this game hoping they don't win. Hoping they don't lose. Of course they want to win. Hoping they don't lose. This is where I'm going for an under 2.5 goals. I could see this being a 0-0 or a tight 1-0. I can't see it being an expansive game of football. I think defensively both teams want to be tight. Offensively, Chelsea haven't been too bad, but I think City defensively have been too good. Especially away from home, they haven't been too bad, especially after the win against Southampton. But I think either team's going to cancel each other out, and it's going to be a bit of a boring one. Now, again, that's not going to be a boring one, which is Southampton versus Liverpool. Liverpool away from home haven't been fantastic, but Southampton have been very good this year. I think they're going to go ahead. Southampton could go 1 or 2 goals ahead, and I think Liverpool will come back. I've gone for a Southampton on the alternative. They've been decent, and like West Ham, the position doesn't really justify like how good they've been this year. But I mean, all the points are very, very close. I mean, the joint 5th, technically Southampton are. They just don't have the goal difference, even though they do sit in 9th. But I think it's going to be an interesting one. Liverpool away from home haven't been great, and for the Premier League's sake, I want Liverpool to not win, so then other teams catch up, so then the Premier League top of the table is literally by like a point, or even teams joint with Liverpool. Even though they are the best team in the league, I think Southampton offer some threat, and it's a possibility that they could even beat Liverpool. Let me know what you guys think of the predictions. Hope you guys have a good new year. Also, if anyone is a fan of any teams who do watch the videos, let me know which kind of player you guys want to sign this year. What sign in a transfer window. It could be anybody, or maybe a realistic signing who you think that your team should pick up. Like the Liverpool need a centre-back, the Man United need a right winger, etc. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know your predictions down below as well. Like the button, like the video if you enjoyed it. Oh my god, click the like button if you enjoyed it. I'm still struggling at this. My resolution is to be able to speak on camera for YouTube. There you go. There's my resolutions. Let me know what your guys are too, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.